Can we invite one more person up?
You were the one. You know what? I think we actually should probably
There
do
is a
that.
very special
The
person.
panel's not really ready yet, and without this person. And it's not Nic Sampson, unfortunately, even though he's a great guy. Yeah.
Well,
No,
without this
no.
person, we wouldn't be here, would we?
No. Oh,
At all.
no,
Ladies,
sorry.
gentlemen, they're gonna- This
I was
is
going to
like
say,
a
yeah, we're waiting for Nic, but the kind of the reason that we're all here, which is amazing, like all together, this is a proper reunion. We haven't seen each other in 15 years.
Sisters back together.
So it's incredible. And I got the call up and I was like, they said to me, every other Power Ranger from your year is coming. You've got to come. You can't be missing. Yeah, and there's kind of one person that we can all thank. Really, can't we?
Javier, we'd love you to come up here and be on this
Javier, please join us on
Get
the
up,
stage.
get up, Lydia, you handsome bastard.
Please join us on the stage.
Javier,
And ladies and gentlemen,
Javier,
you may not understand, and it's okay if you don't. He is the reason they're all here, and many of your other favorite guests that you can never seem to track down because they're from all the way in New Zealand or Australia or someplace exotically amazing. And Javier has, for years now, brought this convention to life. And I'm not afraid to say financially is the reason. And I'd like you to have a microphone for a few minutes. And you can actually do the whole thing, but I'm here with you. If you need me, you don't. But here you go. If you want.
Go for it.
Do it, Mike, yeah. As long as I can get a picture of everybody at the end, you can do it. For real, though, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's emotional.
this is an amazing experience to see this
A little bit higher on my
practically full.
Yeah.
There's so many people here. I didn't realize there was this many Mystic Force fans, as much a fan as I
It's
am.
truly my favorite season.
It's time with
Oh,
RPM.
Save myself.
I love these guys. I absolutely love these guys. This was a season that was very dear to my heart. Just different from anything else. The magic, the characters, the sisterhood. Claire, how silly she is simply amazing. I shouldn't say Claire, Antonia. But I've been wanting to meet her for so long, and she was one of the last people besides Mel that I need to meet. So I think this is just an epic finale to meeting everyone from Mystic Force. So with the celebration, I know a lot of people are saying like the 20th anniversary is until next year, but the 20th anniversary of when they met is this year. So filming is always done the year prior. So this actually means more to them, even though it means a lot to us. It means more to them because this is 20 years from the year that they actually filmed the entire series. So they wrapped up filming in New Zealand together. I am so happy that a lot of them are able to keep in touch now and reestablish touch because like, these guys are amazing. Like even meeting them, I can't say enough words about them. They're all like family to me. For us, Goofy Spirit. I love that man. Like,
I love
like
you
no
too, man.
other
I love
man.
you too, Javier. I love you too, my man.
And John is like the father figure. The man told me in 2019, when I first helped bring some of the Mystic Force team over, that he would always be a father figure to me, no matter what.
Are you making wings?
Sorry, Javier.
No, it's okay. You deserve these.
So 2019 was my first RangerStop event, and I would, after performing the character 20 years.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think when I come, from my perspective as an actor and as a past ranger, when I come to events like this, it reminds me what I'm part of. And a lot of us, Power Rangers was our glorious time, the most glorious time for our careers. And when I come to this thing here, I'm reminded 20 years ago I had a dream to become a successful actor, to make a career and a living out of it. And now that I'm here with my peers from 20 years ago, I am proud to be a ranger, because once a ranger, always a ranger!
So what are we doing?
Let's start with questions.
Question one.
Who's got 'em?
Stephen, why don't you start with your questions first? So start with just your questions first.
Oh, well, we'll do everybody's questions. So put your hands down. It'll be good. But I will make sure we get to talk to everybody. But I do have a few that will perhaps steer the conversation first, if you don't mind. This is all well and good. Like he said, it's been 20 years since you came together as a Ranger family, basically. But that was the Disney filming out in New Zealand, right? Village Roadshow. Did you all live together? What was the situation like coming together in a new place, perhaps, or you're from various spots, living in the Ranger house, let's call it?
Actually, Chip and Nick and I lived together. We did, yeah. In a little house. Yeah, Mel was there first. Yeah, so we kind of
When did you guys live together?
we moved around a bit actually. I think really it was only Richie who was kind of the Lone Ranger. Who didn't.
My agent, for some reason, told me to live with this person, a music producer in New Zealand. He's like, here, there's a room in this house, and his name was Paul, and he was on, not the Idol? Idol, New Zealand Idol, yeah. And that was very interesting, so, yeah, I just...
Is it a safe house?
This is interesting.
You know what was funny? Because we were all like in the hotel. We were in, when we first arrived in New Zealand, and we all met each other.
Oh, you would?
No.
We
I
all
had
got
no
put up in
idea
a
that was the way it
hotel.
was going to happen. My agent just...
Except like, we were like, where are you going, Richie? Like,
Yeah, it's a
someone's
bit
back room. I'm just... No, but we all, first of all, we all lived at, like, remember we were at the Seagull?
Oh.
And we were all put up there?
Seagull, yes.
Yeah. And then we moved around a bit as we started filming, and we're like, actually, we want to move out of the hotel. But we definitely, I wish there was a big Ranger house. That would have been fun. But we certainly spent a lot of time socializing together. Probably a little too much time socializing with each other. But we were getting to know each other. And I think that was really important. So the chemistry on screen was real, you know, because we really clicked straight away. Didn't we?
Very, very cool. Not too shabby at all. Very cool. Now, for us, I want to go to you. A lot of times the show, and this season, no exception really, centers around a pretty big story about the Red Ranger. And yours being what it was a pretty fun take on that. And I don't know if you knew the whole story from the beginning or not, but as you came to terms with it, how did you put into Nick finding out his character's legacy and so on, like once the more developed about the character?
Well, when I first was cast in the show, I was a young kind of aspiring actor. So the character of Nick kind of aligned with me anyway. You know, I was 22. I was left Sydney. I was moved to Auckland. So I was I had a young man with big dreams, and I felt like that I could use some of that energy for Nick. And I just took it day by day, really. Every day on set, every time an episode would come out, you work through it. You got John on your right-hand side, and you got Richie, and Mel and Angie, and so it was like, it really was a really amazing ensemble, because everyone up here actually, got along amazingly, and it worked.
It's fantastic, and it showed. There was one scene in the finale where you and Lee and Bo were together after you had turned evil.
Remember that?
Yeah. It was just so good.
The moment?
He had turned evil.
Yes.
Yeah, as you had turned bad and then turned back to good,
Yes.
which you had seen him.
Yes.
Just the way you were like, Dad, I'm sorry. Like, he got it. You got it. The emotion and the way you brought it through. You
Yeah, I
could
mean,
tell that you
yeah.
were really knowing
That
like,
wasn't-
Dad, I'm sorry,
that
I get it. I
that
know why
was
you were
a-
evil now as your character. You played it well as I.
Man, thank you,
Yeah.
man. I really appreciate that. I'm chuffed, man. Thank you. But, my man Chris over here, 20 years ago was playing my father. Now we can play brothers.
Looking good. You look the same. It's
You know what I'm
fantastic.
saying? Like he can be my younger brother now. Time has not been well. But yeah, do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah. Take a microphone.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know where to, well, I kind of know, I do know where to start actually. Because I came in late, a little bit late. So all the work that they did to start with, and like in acting and in theatre and stuff like that, one of the things that we really aspire to, obviously, is to do good work. But one of the things is to form a company, a real tight company, and they kind of did. So when I arrived, and when you've got some heavy hitters like Peter Rutter and the big JT down there, and these guys are all fresh out of school-ish, but they had some chops. And so when you arrive and the shoe's already worn in, it kind of makes things easy. And so I can find my feet really easy. And like I said, Peter's she's a heavy hitter. So when you come in and you come in relatively cold, she always comes in hot, and she's always there. So you just warm up really fast, and everybody on the set was the same. So when it came to doing anything, and a lot of those scenes were pretty emotional, and there were times when he was acting his age, 22, but he had good reason. Like Dad left, where was he? And then he was this bad guy, wanted do all that stuff. So it was one of those things that was like it felt easy, even though it was work. There were long days. There was stuff you had to do. You had sweaty costumes, all that sort of stuff. It may look and seem glamorous, but it's gritty work, and you're rinsed at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
You're talking about gritty work and hard work, and this is, I want to throw it down to the girls, but it's to everybody. But the girls specifically, I feel like Melanie, this may have been a thing. During the Dark Witch, one of the
Is that a
greatest,
favorite? Do we like that
one
one?
of the coolest story things. Yeah, it was so awesome.
And I think talking to a lot of people, that was their favorite.
But your team had to run up that hill of sand like 30 times to rehearse, right? And so, and in different shoes multiple times and so on.
It was physically, it was really hard.
Yeah.
But kind of fun, because we'd been walking in the woods a lot, and we're kind of sick of the woods. So we're like, sand, sure, that looks great. Remember the quarry? The quarry was hard. Yeah, we were glad to be rid of the quarry. But the sound was cool, and I think Dark Wish felt good, because it was like a 3-part, it was like a dark, epic storyline. It was fun, wasn't it? What do you remember?
No, I think the fight scenes at Bethel's, the sand dunes, they were the best. They were so much fun to shoot. Yeah, and then it started to rain, and it got real edgy.
So the rain was all real? I mean, obviously you can't control the weather, but that just made it that much more cool.
Yeah, it was fun. And that was an opportunity for us. We crafted our own fight scenes with our our stunt doubles and stuff. So that was pretty much all of us. We did, I don't think there were many pickups. Yeah. So they choreographed it with us, which was great.
Very, very cool. John, while you're down here, I know you're finishing a message there, but no, you can probably multitask with what I was going to say here. But you had the unique position of this not being the first foray into your Power Ranger career, having just been a Ranger the previous year on SPD. I want to, yeah, go ahead. Get it out. They're great. That's it. But the question really is, you've been around the block now. You've seen a whole team of these youngsters do this thing, and now it's happening again. And now you're the mentor a second time, but you've literally done that already. So how do you feel coming into this cast?
Well, I think
Not comparing the people in the two casts, just coming into the new generation.
oh, this is my favorite cast.
Okay, if you're welcome to say that, it's fine. Yeah, I hear you. They're wonderful people. I completely agree.
Yeah, no, I've worked on I've got to see probably 4 sets of Rangers go through, and they all have similar tricks. Red Ranger is overcoming some type of insecurity, become the leader that he should be. Blue Ranger is the possible leader, but goes through his own dynamics, and then we have all the other colors. And one not to take away from the importance of the other colors, from a standpoint of a mentor, and I have played 2 mentors of 2 different casts, right? I've seen the world many times in other movies, but listen, in this one, I felt when I come into this cast, they were already established. They made my job much easier. And I think the first one I had to wear a mechanical suit. I had other dimensions that I had to overcome, and other insecurities I had to overcome. But with this one, I got to really play. And so with my first character, I based Doggy Kruger on General Patton, because I loved the movie, and George C. Scott's performance, which was Oscar-worthy. I just imitated that, and then he was more of a mentor and a father figure and a warrior and a general. In this one, I based the last night on Russell Crowe's Maximus from Gladiator. And the thing is that I don't copy performances, but like sometimes an actor has these we have so much in our arsenal to choose from. So all I did was imitate certain leaders, and then because we had the formula, I came in. They were already 4 months of filming. They were bonded. I had to come in, and all of a sudden they've got to take orders from a stranger. So I had to come in, and then I bonded with each and every one of them, especially this young man next to me. From that point on, it's important to build a friendship with your other actors. I don't care how cool you think you are, how rich you are. I think if you don't have that natural connection with the other actors, then the performance is unbelievable, and the camera doesn't lie, right? It's true. And so, me being the mentor on this one, they made the job easier, and I just got to be an older brother and an uncle to this cast. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Let's bring it back down this way. Now, Richie, you, as the Green Ranger, the cool, fun, earthy Ranger there, you had the sort of the playing Xanda going on. It was always fun. Yeah, everybody remembers playing Xanda, right? Yeah. That was fun. Now, but if you wouldn't mind, it doesn't have to be a specific story, but you spent a lot of time on that record store set. And you were with Barney Duncan, who's probably a sailor in the language department. But, what was it, not what was it like specifically, but do you have a specific memory that you think back to on that set?
I feel like one of our first days shooting was on that set. The earthquake scene, one of the first scenes was one of the first things we ever shot. That was cool. I remember being really nervous about trying to make the right choices and worrying about overacting and underacting, and then I remember we all got called into the producer's office like a week later, and he said, "You guys have not cut the mustard." Do you remember? We had to reshoot it. Oh no. We had to reshoot. Hey.
I think they just reshot your stuff.
He said we were underacting and we weren't putting enough energy into it. And we had to do some scenes again. Does no one remember that?
No, I don't.
He said
that.
you were underacting. He said you were underacting, or you were underacting?
No, I remember. I seriously remember this. Is no one going to back me up?
Do you know what I think, though? I think,
Mustard anyway.
No, but do you know what? Okay, what I think is an interesting, perhaps, take on that is that because this cast was all Australian or New Zealanders, and I think as a culture we are very relaxed, right? So I think we had to ramp up our Americanness, give it some more oomph, because I think naturally we're a bit, I don't know.
And use fake accents for the most part too. I forgot you had to use accents that weren't natural.
Sure.
Except for you, Rich.
Yeah. Mine wasn't good enough, so I had to do it. But I also rewatched it recently, but last year, and Barney Duncan was amazing.
So
I
the
was watching
Kramer
it just
vibes.
going,
Wasn't he
wow.
like Kramer?
Yeah.
He was so good.
Yeah, so he blew me out of the water again. I hope I didn't get the shows mixed up with being told to redo it. Was it
Do you get told that a lot?
yeah, probably.
I think it did happen.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you brought it up at the last con, and that's what I'm remembering it from.
Yeah, I think we did have to reshoot.
But yeah,
I'm going to say I don't think it was just an us thing though. I think it was.
Was it just us?
No, wasn't just a. No, I mean, I'm going to throw myself under the bus here. No. But it was about the actual. It was that scene in Rockporium. So it was not just us. It was the whole scene. So it was how it was directed.
Oh, I see.
And there wasn't enough earthquake. There wasn't enough mass destruction happening. So. We're what would be with an earth tremor, but this had to be really intense. Yeah.
And I remember Barney coming in and doing the whole ripping off the thing and all that, and we did that twice.
Yeah.
We did. Anyway.
And you improved, and then they took the second one, and the rest was history. It was
apparently
it was one day of work 20 years ago. So.
Yeah.
It's to be fair, I don't remember what I did 3 days ago at my job. It's understandable. We're almost ready for some audience questions, but Nick, I've got one down here first. The friendships that you and Vida had on the show, you and Angie, especially the vampire episode. That was a really fun dynamic and a fun friendship, and I'd like you to touch on that to whatever you feel like touching on that in a moment, but also, how much or different are you from your character, Chip?
Oh, I'm a very sort of thoughtful, smart, generous person.
I'm hearing some laughter.
I don't know. I think I am a lot like Chip. I think it was quite easy to be Chip. I was very into fantasy and I lived a lot of my childhood in my own head. So the idea of being this kind of quite excitable, nerdy character was quite easy, although I did my natural state is quite chill as hell, man. And it was definitely I had to ramp that up and be, and find the character of Chip. So I guess, but he's a lot like me in some ways. I think apparently the producers as soon as they saw me, they're like, yeah, this guy is Chip. And they didn't even have to really watch my audition. They was like, yeah, this little guy, yeah, he's Chip. Yeah.
That's perfect. And I will say, of all the seasons, obviously Power Rangers has different nostalgia levels for who sees what season you win. But objectively pulling that out, I think the rewatchability factor for your show is one of the better ones from beginning to end. To see character arcs and development and growth and just epicness, if you will, different things. Questions are answered, stuff happens in your show that, not that other seasons are less dimensional, but they are less dimensional. Quite in that situation. So thanks for being a part of all.
Oh, no worries. And also to say that episode with me and Angie, that was my favourite one to do.
Was it cool?
Yeah, because it had a nice dramatic arc to it, and we were already really good friends. I mean, we started living together. I think it was after that, towards. I basically ran out of money because I lived in the hotel for about 6 months or something. I think they expected us to move into cheaper places, but I had never lived anywhere that wasn't my own family house. So I was like, can I live in the hotel? And they were like, yeah, if you want. And so I was just paying a hotel. Just spending all my money on this hotel. So then we flatted together and it was great. Yeah, but it was awesome.
A lot of people are under the misconception that Power Rangers make a lot of money.
It was I was 18. It was like I was a millionaire. I felt like I was losing my mind.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to do anything. Never lived out of my house, so I went to the supermarket and I bought $200 worth of food, and I didn't know how to cook any of it. I made
$180
tin
of
spaghetti
trash.
and I put eggs in it, and then it was disgusting.
You learned what not to do, though, if you ever try it again. That's awesome. All right, friends, I think it's finally time to open questions.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm not like. For me, it wasn't like as much as Chip liked capes. My feelings were slightly more ambivalent about capes. But they were cool to swish around.
Not too shabby. Way over there, yeah, Raven in the glove.
Udonna has always been my favorite Power Ranger of any season ever. What is y'all's favorite Vida stories?
Oh yeah, Vida memories. That's a great one. Anybody who has one, go for it. Stop down. Yeah, Claire.
Yeah, so Claire and Udonna obviously had a lot of scenes together, and I knew Peta before we started Power Rangers, and what you guys might not know about Peta is she's a legend in New Zealand, and mainly for her incredible contribution to theatre. So she had a theatre company, and they would create and make new pieces of theatre, and they're very celebrated in New Zealand, and she's a real creative genius, so talented. So I knew her kind of from around the traps in Auckland, and then when I found out that she was in the show and I would be doing so many of my scenes with her, I was so delighted because I just looked up to her so much. And I think, the memories, it's not one really specific, but we spent so much time with each other, and when you're making any TV show, but including this one, there's a lot of waiting around. And so we would just, because often the scenes were just me and her, but even when it was everyone, but I just remember me and her sitting in the camper for hours on end and just having a really lovely time. Her actual personality is kind of actually similar to Udonna, she's not quite as serious, because Udonna's quite a serious, earnest character, and Peta definitely has a lighter energy to her and was really funny, but she's equally as warm, equally as kind, and equally as intelligent. So I just remember kind of just basking in her glow in the camper and feeling so lucky that I got to spend so much time hanging out with her. Yeah.
With the Quantron, yeah, right there.
Yeah, this is a widespread question for all of you. He stole my question, unfortunately. But I do
That is what I do as hosting this show. Yeah.
Which episode of Mystic Force out of the 32 that impacts you the most? Y'all want ladies first? Old heads first?
Old heads. We're the old heads.
For me, it was when Claire became the gatekeeper.
I think it was definitely the vampire stranger within part 1 and part 2.
Do you remember the one where I got turned into stone? Yeah. But it's funny, it's a cool episode, but I spent half the episode not doing anything because I was a statue. So I think I like that because I had a lot of time off.
There was one where we went to a giant realm, and and just that one they put us in leather, and they bronzed us up, they bronzed me up in a way that I would never tan like that. I was so orange. But I just remember having that was a really funny episode. I had a good time on that one.
Yeah, what I thought was, keep going.
Mr. B?
Mr. What? Mr. B.
I can't pronounce
I'll say likewise to that episode, that was great. And but for Xander, maybe petrified Xander.
Oh, yeah.
Learned a lot of lessons there. Yes.
He gave you a hard time, Mr.
Yeah, I liked. There was a. I think it was episode 1 or 2 where we drowned in the swamp. The mud. That was fun to shoot. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Dark Wish was good too. Yeah. That was fun.
Mr. Graham?
Chris.
It's a toss-up because sometimes you like the love and sometimes you love the rough stuff. So, Heir Apparent was great.
Yeah.
There was, and I can't remember the episode's name, but there was a flashback when Udonna and I when he was a baby, and I had to hand the baby over to Dagon, and we got blown up. I love you too.
When you found out he was your daddy, he was like, who's this guy?
Yeah, it was knowing that Liambo was still alive. They gave Dageron more impetus to work because he was the friend that lost the baby. You know what I mean?
That's pretty serious when you think about it.
Yeah. And after that, he was right there, buddy.
I love it.
I see y'all had an open seat here. I know. Yeah. I see Udonna right there.
Yes, the spirit is with us. I'd like to think she would like this too. I'd like she'd have a lot of fun to see that the show is still getting
She would love it.
Yeah.
She would love to be here.
I know it.
You're a legend, mate. You're an absolute legend. We love you.
Right there, the marble in the gray. Yeah.
It's cool about the diversity in the rooms between generations and everything, that Power Rangers has been there for a lot of people. What gets you through your points, your moments, your anxiety, and your overwhelmness? Is it music? What's your favorite song? Do you do breathing? What gets you through?
There you go. We turn this into a really good question. That's deep. Yeah.
Well, I've recently started like gardening quite a lot. So I've got this thing called an allotment, which is like a bit of in London. Nobody has a garden, so they just like give you a bit of a garden somewhere, and it's something like really peaceful about just like tilling the earth. And I think we've grown one radish so far, but man, it tasted good.
Oh man, that's fantastic. In the blue back there.
So my name is Tucker. Some of you might know me as Nefari. I'm a YouTuber. Hi, Angie. Angie and I did a panel last year, and I wanted to ask you two this, and Melanie, I didn't get to ask you this, but I was wondering, what was it like playing sisters on the show? What was the dynamic like? And it was really great to watch you two.
I'm so glad. That's a lot of the feedback that I've got from many people, that they wanted more of the sisters. I was like, yeah. No, Angie and I had so much in common when we met. Both our dads are Filipino, and our mums are Australian. So we were filler girls, and just got along well, like so well straight over, like sisters. And I think because all of us had to travel to New Zealand for the job, and we were all the way from home, we really kind of clung to each other. And they were always my favourite scenes to shoot, was, when we were calling each other sis, doing, what was the question?
What was it like having that dynamic with each other?
Yeah. When have you got to that?
I think we were always late together. I feel like that's a commonality that's happening again on repeat, just quietly. But we did have a lot of fun. We had we had a lot of fun. We went out dancing and everything. It was great. Probably too much dancing, yeah.
When you recorded it was what, 2007 was it, or 6? When were you? 5? So great. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. I was thinking of some other cast, but before smartphones, before all of us buried like this.
Yeah.
So the memories, you would tape things differently, film things differently, have different pictures in social media, but the engagements you had then, were there probably more moments that like you would never record, but now you wouldn't do those things these days? Yeah. If you could share one that's appropriate, or not, it doesn't matter, that would be pretty cool, I think. Anybody who wants to.
We used to play ping pong. Yeah, we had a ping pong table on set, and I used to win all the time. Is that the story?
I'm pretty sure one of our directors, Charlie, remember, he was pretty gung-ho. He was the sweetest director ever, so lovely. And then he got real aggressive with the table tennis. Yeah.
That's a pretty good story, I think. That's good enough. It's pretty wholesome, which is
But
nice.
but yes, you are right. It was before the smartphones. It was before the iPhones. So yeah, we were connecting. There was no filming and taking photos of everyone that sneezes and does something
And
funny.
even like on set, nowadays, if you're on set, every actor, even crew members, everyone's just on their phones.
Yeah, it's
so they're not,
awful.
or you go back to, whereas we were just like kicking around
Talking.
and like talking to each other.
Climbing trees, talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss those days actually. I miss the pre-iPhone days.
One thing that's funny about that for me is, pre-iPhone, I took so many photos with my camera and I developed them all, in the early 2000s. So I have, a whole photo album of all of us. I should have brought it. That would have been the time. But I don't have a document. It's like a documentary in photo form that I have not had since. Basically, as soon as we had iPhones and could take photos so easily, who prints their photos anymore? I still don't have. I have a 5-year-old and 3-year-old. There are no evidence of my 3-year-old in my house because I haven't printed the photos. But this was the time that there are so many, probably too many in some situations. But yeah, it was great.
No, I'm good. I'm just ready for the next one.
Green shirt there, just do it.
Alright, I am TikTok and TikToks. I talk Power Rangers on TikTok. And my question is, was there ever a discussion of doing a team up with the prior season SPD or John would probably be playing 2 characters at once, so it's never came
was there
an idea?
Not that I know of, but it would have been good. There used to be the tradition from seasons before where the old, the current Rangers set would welcome in the newcomers and the old, that used to be really good because it linked the world together. But I think when you look at SPD, the fad then was technology and space. A lot of the American shows were set in space, Battlestar Galactica, so it was really famous at the time. And then when the next season happened, went from technology, machinery to magic and the woods. And I thought that it would have been pretty trippy to try and link the two together because it kind of felt like there was a time barrier between them. But I thought that alone those seasons they stand alone. It would have been hard to mesh them. Because I get lost with the Power Rangers like Dino Thunder.
They're just so thematically different.
So, and I think Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings were hotcakes in the early 2000s, so the theme came through really fast. And
we're gonna go you and then Rizwan right behind you. Karen, then you. Yeah.
I have technically 2 parts. A, I have John Rangers and not some. And B, I know a couple of you played different characters throughout Power Rangers. So, what was your favorite character to play outside of Mystic Force? And if you didn't play a different character, which character would you like to play either in Mystic Force or in different scenes?
Claire was my favorite character to play of the ones that I have played. But if I'm not allowed to say Claire, so I will say Krista because with Nova, fun fact, I was never actually on set. I was not underneath the suit, and I just recorded my role in ADR. So I just went into a booth and recorded, because I think she takes her helmet off for a second, right, and it's not me? Yeah. I don't know who that is. She was a member of the crew. Okay, she was a member of the crew. So, so my Nova experience was just in a booth, which was really fun. But no, Krista was great, because it was obviously my first time, but also James Napier and Tom Hearn, I had just worked with them on another TV show for 5 years previously, so we were really great friends, and so it was great to, reconnect with them.
That's awesome.
It's different from Rangers because they have one solid role, and then you have your Power Ranger morph, and then you have your characters. If Barney or Kelsom was here, they could talk about all the different characters that they play. And Infinity played so many characters. But it's an actor's dream to be able to play so many different roles. For me, I would have loved to play Sergeant Silverback a bit more. I wanted to, because I got to really, lean into my southern accent. I loved Full Metal Jacket, so I imitated the character of Leone's performance in Full Metal Jacket as drill instructor. Yeah, Sergeant Silverback would have been mine. Because there's nothing better than drilling these guys, right? Really, and making them overcome this thing together. But yeah.
Good question. Rizwan.
Okay, so one comment, I'll ask a question. So, Antonia, it sounds like we should do another reunion to bring the photo book down. So,
Right? Okay, the next time, can
At
you
the
guys...
40th reunion, we'll
Can
do
you
that.
remind me, someone message me on social media and say, bring the photo album, okay? And then I will. Okay, everyone message me and then I will remember. Yeah.
The gentleman in the cane, with the cane back there. Yeah. Oh, Rizwan had a question too. So after Rizwan, we'll go to Xander back there. Yeah.
Question for Nick. I was curious about your Yellow Ranger comedy that you had posted about a year ago.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't really see much information about what it was, or I'm just curious more information about it.
Oh sure, yeah. I actually just so I did a show called Yellow Power Ranger. I did it at the Edinburgh Comedy Festival last year, and I actually just did a run of it in London. And it's basically a comedy show where I play myself at a comic convention, trying to get a reunion of the cast together, but nobody else has showed up. And
based on a true story.
And it just so happened that while I was doing the show in Edinburgh, the rest of the cast were meeting up in LA for this reunion, which was a really funny way to end the show by being like, while I'm doing this, the rest of the cast are actually getting together. But I sort of played a fictitious version of myself, and it's just a very silly show. But I played some clips from the show. Yeah, it was just a bit of fun.
US tour.
Yeah.
US tour, yeah. I'll bring it here.
All right, everybody, I think we've got time for 2 more questions, and then we're gonna have Javier have a final word if you want one. I didn't ask you this before, but I want you to have one, and then anyone else has a final thought, and then if we could take a group picture of everybody in front of the thing there and do the magical source, all the stuff. All the fun, we're gonna do all of it, but there's time for 2 more questions. The gentleman in the hat's had his hand up most of this show, or whatever this is, yeah.
For everyone, if you had to choose any Power Rangers team from Mighty Morphin to Cosmic Crew to team up with, which one would you choose?
Christopher Kamen Lee and the Space Rangers would be a fun one, right, Chris?
That's the obvious choice.
That's the obvious choice.
I had quite a few friends who were in RPM, so yeah, I guess that one.
I reckon I'd go Operation Overdrive for the same reason. I've got a couple of local friends, so.
I think I've met some of my really good friends, and they were in that one as well.
I would go Mighty Morphin. The OG, back to where it all started, for sure.
That's
for
it.
Sure.
That's not a bad choice either. That's good.
I was pretty happy with Once a Ranger. That was
Oh yeah, I mean that's neat. You got a sampling of all of the fun seasons there.
A bit of everything.
And Emma was there. That's cool. Yeah. Sure.
Let me think about this. I think I would like to mix and match with, what was your one? Once a Ranger? Yeah, I like Once a Ranger. Yeah, I love that one. Wasn't that one? No, serious.
You're not in that episode.
Once a Ranger was good.
What was the question again?
If you could team up with any other cast of Power Rangers, who would it be?
Any season in the mix?
Yeah.
Let's put the Woods in space for SPD and Mystic Force.
All right, this will be our very last question for this panel, but you'll see these guys all weekend, or at least through today and tomorrow, which is the last of the weekend, right over there with your hand up in the second row. That's you. Yep.
I have a question for John.
John.
My name's Ryan. I'm here from Nashville.
Oh, welcome.
John, so you play a role as like mentor to the Rangers, and it's such an important role. But I'm curious, who is somebody who's a mentor to you in real life?
Who's a real life mentor for you, John? Wow.
Here come the tears.
My father.
Beautiful answer, and beautiful statement, and a beautiful, beautiful situation. And since that was tearful enough, I'm going to hand it over to you, Javier, to wrap things up, and then we'll take those photos. Please give it up for the cast of Mr.